Have you ever wondered why God allowed you to love someone who wasn't meant for you? Why did He let you invest your heart, your time, your prayers into a relationship that ultimately fell apart? You poured everything into that connection. You believed it was the one. You saw a future, made plans, and opened your heart completely. But then it ended, and the pain left you questioning not just the person, but God Himself. Why would a loving God let me fall for the wrong person? Why would He allow me to give so much to someone who would eventually walk away? Why did He let me believe it was right when it was all wrong from the beginning? These are the questions that haunt the hearts of the broken. These are the prayers whispered in the quiet hours of the night when sleep won't come and the memories won't stop. And if you've been there, if you're there right now, I need you to hear something that will shift everything. Your heartbreak was not random. It was not a mistake. It was not God being cruel or careless with your heart. What felt like abandonment was actually assignment. What looked like a detour was actually direction. What seemed like the worst thing that could happen to you was actually one of the best things God ever allowed. That wrong person, that painful relationship, that season of disappointment was not punishment. It was preparation. It was not rejection. It was redirection. It was not the end of your story. It was the beginning of your transformation. God allowed you to fall for the wrong person because there were lessons you needed to learn, wounds you needed to heal, standards you needed to raise, and a version of yourself you needed to become before you could handle the right one. He let you experience heartbreak not to break you, but to build you. Not to destroy your faith in love, but to deepen your dependence on Him. Not to leave you empty, but to make room for something greater. In today's message, I'm going to share 7 powerful revelations that will completely reframe how you see that painful chapter of your life. These truths will heal your perspective, restore your hope, and remind you that nothing in God's hands is ever wasted, not even your heartbreak. If you grasp what I'm about to share, it will set you free from regret, protect you from bitterness, and position you for the love story God has been writing all along. So if you've been stuck in the pain of what didn't work out, if you've been replaying conversations and wondering what you could have done differently, if you've been questioning whether you'll ever get it right, this message is your answer. This is your moment of clarity. This is where healing begins. Let's begin. God allowed the wrong person into your life because He needed to show you something you couldn't learn any other way. That relationship wasn't a mistake. It was a mirror. It was a classroom. It was a divine setup designed to reveal, to refine, and to redirect you toward the path He's been preparing all along. The heartbreak you endured wasn't the end. It was the beginning of everything you've been praying for. And by the time we finish this journey together, you're going to see that painful season through completely different eyes. You're going to understand that what broke your heart was actually saving your life. And you're going to thank God for the person who walked away, because their exit made room for the entrance of something beautiful, something purposeful, something worth every tear you cried along the way. That wrong relationship you're mourning was not a mistake. It was a message. God allowed the wrong person into your life to reveal what the right person would require. That season wasn't wasted. It was a classroom, and every painful moment was a lesson preparing you for the love you're actually called to receive. The Bible tells us in Proverbs 4, verse 23, "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life." But how do you guard something you don't understand? How do you protect something when you don't know its value? God allowed you to experience the wrong person so you could finally learn what your heart is worth and what it truly needs. Think about the Israelites in the wilderness. They thought they were wandering aimlessly for 40 years, lost and forgotten. But God wasn't punishing them. He was preparing them. He was teaching them dependence, obedience, and trust. He was showing them what didn't work, the complaining, the doubt, the looking back at Egypt, so they would be ready for what did work when they finally entered the promised land. That wilderness wasn't wasted time. It was necessary time. Your relationship with the wrong person was your wilderness. And just like the Israelites, you weren't lost. You were being trained. Every argument taught you what peace actually looks like. Every broken promise showed you the value of integrity. Every moment you felt unseen revealed how much you need to be truly known. Every time you compromised yourself, you learned where your boundaries needed to be. That relationship didn't break you, it clarified you. The wrong person was never meant to stay. They were meant to show you what you were accepting that you should have been rejecting. They revealed the places where you were settling, where you were shrinking yourself, where you were ignoring red flags because you were afraid of being alone. They exposed the lies you believed about yourself, that you weren't worthy of better, that love required suffering, that you had to earn affection, that your needs were too much. And God, in His mercy, let you see all of it, not to shame you, but to save you. Because if you had never experienced what was wrong, you would have never recognized what was right. If you had never tasted the bitter, you wouldn't appreciate the sweet. If you had never felt the sting of being undervalued, you wouldn't recognize the gift of being cherished. This is not about regret. This is about revelation. Every disappointment was a divine redirection. Every heartbreak was a course correction. Every tear you cried was watering the soil of your future. God was not absent in that relationship. He was actively working, quietly teaching, strategically positioning you for something better. The pain you experienced wasn't punishment, it was preparation. It was God showing you exactly what you don't need so you can recognize what you do. He was raising your standards, sharpening your discernment, and fortifying your boundaries. He was teaching you that love is not supposed to hurt all the time, that partnership is not supposed to feel like a constant battle, that the right person will not make you question your worth. You didn't lose the wrong person. You gained wisdom. You didn't waste your time. You invested in your education. And the tuition you paid in tears and heartache is about to produce a return you cannot even imagine yet. Because now you know. Now you see. Now you understand what you will and will not accept. And that knowledge is priceless. This was not abandonment. This was alignment. God didn't let you fall for the wrong person to hurt you. He allowed it to prepare you, to protect you, to position you for the right one. And every lesson you learned in that painful season is equipping you for the blessed one that's coming. The wrong person was never your destination. They were your detour, redirecting you back to the path God designed for you all along. And that path leads somewhere beautiful, somewhere purposeful, somewhere worth every closed door you had to walk through to get there. But there's something deeper happening in that relationship than just lessons about what you need. The wrong person didn't just reveal what was missing in them. They revealed what was broken in you. And that's not an accusation, that's an invitation to healing. The wrong person was placed in your path to expose the unhealed places within you that still needed God's touch. They mirrored back your wounds, your insecurities, your unresolved pain, not to harm you, but to show you where God still needed access. What felt like betrayal was actually God's mercy revealing the cracks in your foundation before He built something permanent on top of it. In 2 Corinthians 12, verse 9, Paul writes, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." God doesn't hide our weaknesses from us. He exposes them so His strength can fill them. And sometimes He uses the wrong person as the mirror that reflects back everything we've been avoiding about ourselves. Think about Jacob and Laban in Genesis 29. Jacob thought he was getting Rachel, the woman he loved, but he woke up married to Leah instead. He was deceived by the very trickery he had used on his own father years earlier. That wasn't just bad luck. That was God holding up a mirror. God was showing Jacob his own deception, reflected back at him. And through that painful revelation, Jacob was forced to confront the parts of himself he had never dealt with. The wrong relationship became the tool God used to heal the broken man. The same is true for you. That person triggered you, didn't they? They pushed buttons you didn't even know existed. They made you react in ways that surprised you, maybe even scared you. They brought out jealousy, insecurity, anger, fear, neediness. And in those moments, you probably thought something was wrong with you. But nothing was wrong. Something was just being revealed. God allowed that person to expose your wounds so you would finally let Him heal them. because you can't heal what you won't acknowledge. You can't fix what you keep hidden. And as long as those broken places remained buried, they were controlling you. They were shaping your choices, attracting the wrong people, and sabotaging the right connections before they even had a chance to grow. Maybe that person reminded you of someone who hurt you before. Maybe they abandoned you the same way your father did. Maybe they dismissed you the same way you've always felt invisible. Maybe they lied to you and it reopened the wound of trust you thought had already healed. That wasn't coincidence. That was divine strategy. God wasn't being cruel. He was being kind. Because if those wounds stayed hidden, they would have infected your future. If those insecurities remained unaddressed, they would have sabotaged the right relationship when it finally arrived. If those fears kept operating in the shadows, they would have kept you repeating the same painful patterns over and over again. So God, in His wisdom, allowed the wrong person to pull back the curtain. He let them expose the places where you were still bleeding, still broken, still believing lies about yourself. He let them trigger your abandonment issues so you could finally give those issues to Him. He let them activate your fear of rejection so you could finally confront where that fear came from. He let them mirror your insecurities so you could finally see that those insecurities were never true. And yes, it hurt. Yes, it was painful. Yes, it felt like you were falling apart, but you weren't falling apart. You were being broken open so God could finally get to the places you had kept locked away from Him. The wrong person didn't break you. They exposed what was already broken so the healer could finally do His work. This is why some relationships feel so intense, so consuming, so painful. It's not just about them. It's about you. It's about the parts of you that needed to come to the surface so God could heal them before your next chapter begins. It's about the lies you needed to stop believing, the wounds you needed to stop carrying, the patterns you needed to stop repeating. What felt like betrayal was actually God's mercy. He was revealing the cracks in your foundation before building something permanent. Because a house built on unhealed trauma will always collapse. A relationship built on unresolved wounds will always fracture. A future built on hidden brokenness will always crumble. But a life built on healing, a heart anchored in wholeness, a foundation restored by God's hands, that can hold anything. That can carry the weight of real love, true partnership, and lasting covenant. And that's what God is building in you right now. The wrong person wasn't sent to destroy you. They were sent to reveal you, to show you where healing still needed to happen, to expose the wounds so God could finally bandage them, to uncover the lies so truth could replace them. And now that you see what was hidden, now that you know what needed attention, God can do the deep work that prepares you for the right person. This was not punishment. This was preparation. This was not abandonment. This was mercy. And the pain you're feeling right now is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your healing. And while God was using that relationship to heal you, He was also doing something else. Something you couldn't see in the moment. Something you might still not fully understand. While you were crying over what you lost, God was protecting you from what would have destroyed you. That heartbreak you're mourning, it saved your life. That person walking away, it was divine intervention. That relationship ending when it did, it was God's mercy stopping you from going any further down a road that led to destruction. The protection you couldn't see was more powerful than the love you thought you needed. Psalm 32 verse 8 says, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will counsel you with my loving eye on you." God's eye was on you the entire time. He saw what you couldn't see. He knew what you didn't know. And in His love, He protected you even when that protection felt like rejection. Think about Lot's wife in Genesis 19. God was leading her family out of Sodom, away from destruction towards safety. But she looked back. She couldn't let go of what she was leaving behind. And that inability to release what God was removing turned her into a pillar of salt. Sometimes what we're holding on to is the very thing that will destroy us if we don't let it go. And God, in His mercy, will remove it from our hands even when we're fighting to keep it. You fought to keep that person, didn't you? You prayed for the relationship to work. You made excuses for their behavior. You overlooked the red flags. You justified the way they treated you. You convinced yourself it would get better, that they would change, that love was supposed to be this hard. And all the while, God was watching, waiting, preparing to intervene, because he saw their true character. Not the version they showed you in the beginning, but the version that would have emerged over time. He saw the lies they were telling, the double life they were living, the addiction they were hiding, the brokenness they refused to heal. He saw the way they would have slowly eroded your peace, dimmed your light, and pulled you away from your purpose. God saw the arguments that would have lasted for years, the trust that would have been shattered over and over again, the compromises you would have made that would have cost you pieces of yourself you could never get back. He saw the toxicity that would have poisoned your joy, your confidence, your faith. He saw the future where you stayed, and he loved you too much to let you live it. That person's incompatibility with your destiny wasn't just about personality differences or conflicting goals. It was about spiritual alignment. It was about the assignment God placed on your life and the reality that not everyone can walk with you into that calling. Some people will celebrate your gift but resent your growth. Some will love your presence but oppose your purpose. Some will want you but not the God in you. And if you had stayed, you would have had to choose your calling or their comfort, your anointing or their approval, your obedience to God or their demands for your attention. That's not a choice God wanted you to make. So he made it for you. He removed them before the choice became unbearable. The heartbreak you endured saved you from a lifetime of compromise. It saved you from waking up 10 years later, married to the wrong person, trapped in a life that looks nothing like the destiny God showed you. It saved you from the slow death of dimming your light to make someone else comfortable. It saved you from the exhausting work of trying to force someone to value what God placed inside you. God didn't let that relationship continue because he saw the ending. He saw where it would lead, and he loved you enough to redirect you before you got there. The closed door wasn't cruelty. It was protection. The unanswered prayer wasn't rejection. It was God saying, I have something better, but you have to let go of this first. You may not see it yet. You may still be angry, confused, heartbroken. You may still think God took something good from you, but one day you're going to look back and see it clearly. You're going to see the bullet you dodged. You're going to see the pain you were spared. You're going to see the destruction that was headed your way and the way God stepped in and stopped it before it reached you. You're going to meet the person God actually prepared for you, and you're going to realize why the wrong one had to go. You're going to step into the fullness of your calling, and you're going to understand why certain people couldn't come with you. You're going to experience the peace, the joy, the alignment of being exactly where God designed you to be, and you're going to thank him for every door he closed, every person he removed, every prayer he didn't answer the way you wanted. Because what you thought was loss was actually protection. What felt like abandonment was actually God fighting for you. What looked like the end was actually God making room for the beginning of something beautiful, something healthy, something aligned with the life he's been planning for you all along. This was not rejection. This was divine protection. And the tears you cried were not wasted. They were watering the soil of a future you cannot yet see, but God is already prepared. But protection wasn't the only gift hidden in that painful season. God was doing something else, something that will serve you for the rest of your life. He was strengthening your standards. He was fortifying your boundaries. He was teaching you the difference between what you'll tolerate and what you truly deserve. God let you experience the wrong person so you would never again settle for less than his best. That relationship wasn't just a lesson in what to avoid. It was a recalibration of your entire expectation system. It clarified your non-negotiables. It revealed what you will and will not accept. And it refined your discernment until you could finally distinguish between counterfeit connection and covenant love, between chemistry and compatibility, between what feels good and what's actually God. Proverbs 4 verse 7 says, "Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding." That relationship gave you wisdom, painful, expensive, hard-earned wisdom, and that wisdom is now your shield, your filter, your standard that will protect you from ever repeating that mistake again. Before that relationship, you didn't fully know what you needed. You had ideas, maybe even a list, but you hadn't experienced the cost of being with someone who didn't meet those requirements. You hadn't felt the exhaustion of loving someone who couldn't love you back the way you deserved. You hadn't lived through the slow erosion of being with someone who didn't honor your value. But now you have. And everything has changed. Think about Hosea in the Old Testament. God told him to marry Gomer, a woman who would betray him, abandon him, and break his heart repeatedly. It seems cruel, doesn't it? But through that painful marriage, Hosea learned something profound about love, about faithfulness, about the difference between covenant commitment and conditional affection. He learned what it meant to love someone who didn't deserve it, and through that experience, he understood God's heart in a way he never could have otherwise. The pain produced wisdom. The heartbreak produced clarity. Your wrong relationship did the same thing. It taught you what real love looks like by showing you what it doesn't look like. It taught you the value of consistency by exposing you to chaos. It taught you the importance of emotional safety by making you feel constantly on edge. It taught you the necessity of aligned values by showing you the destruction that happens when two people want completely different things. That relationship recalibrated your expectations. You used to think love meant intensity, passion, constant drama, and emotional highs and lows. But now you know better. Now you understand that real love is steady. It's peaceful. It's consistent. It doesn't make you question your worth or walk on eggshells or constantly fight for basic respect. You used to think you needed someone who made your heart race. Now you know you need someone who gives your heart rest. You used to think chemistry was enough. Now you understand that compatibility, character, and shared faith matter more than butterflies. You used to accept breadcrumbs and call it love. Now you know what a full table looks like, and you won't starve yourself anymore. The pain you experienced fortified your boundaries. You learned where your line is. You learned what you will no longer tolerate, excuse, or justify. You learned that saying no to the wrong person is saying yes to yourself. You learned that walking away from what hurts you is not giving up. It's growing up. Before, you might have ignored red flags because you were afraid of being alone. Now you see red flags as divine signals, God's way of protecting you from investing in something that will only cost you more pain later. Before, you might have made excuses for disrespect because you didn't want to seem difficult. Now you understand that your peace is not negotiable and your dignity is not up for debate. God used that wrong person to refine your discernment. You can feel the difference now, can't you? You can sense when something is off. You can detect insincerity faster. You can recognize manipulation, love bombing, future faking, and all the tactics that once fooled you. Your spirit is sharper now. Your intuition is stronger. Your ability to see through surface charm to the character underneath has been upgraded. This is what happens when pain becomes your teacher. You don't just survive it, you learn from it, and those lessons become the foundation of your standards, the blueprint for what you will and will not allow into your life moving forward. The wrong person taught you that you'd rather be alone and whole than partnered and broken. They taught you that companionship without compatibility is just glorified loneliness. They taught you that attraction without alignment is a recipe for disaster. They taught you that someone can say all the right words, but still be the wrong person if their actions don't match. And now, because of what you learned, you won't settle. You won't compromise. You won't shrink yourself to fit into someone else's limited vision of who you should be. You won't ignore your needs to keep someone comfortable. You won't sacrifice your peace for someone's potential. Your standards are no longer theoretical. They're tested. They're proven. They're forged in the fire of experience, and they will protect you from ever going back to what you've already outgrown. This was not wasted pain. This was wisdom in the making. This was God strengthening you, equipping you, preparing you to recognize and receive the love you're actually meant to have. The wrong person raised the bar. And now, only the right person will be able to reach it. But there's something even deeper God was addressing through that wrong relationship. Something most people never want to confront. He wasn't just teaching you about them. He was revealing something about you, about why you wanted that relationship in the first place, about what you were really searching for when you opened your heart to the wrong person. The wrong relationship revealed why you were seeking love in the first place. Was it to complete you or complement you? Was it to fill a void or to share a fullness? God allowed that connection to expose whether you were running from loneliness or walking in readiness. And through the disappointment, through the heartbreak, through the painful ending, He purified your intentions, shifted your focus from desperation to preparation, and taught you that wholeness must come before partnership. In John 4, Jesus met the woman at the well. She had been married 5 times and was living with a man who wasn't her husband. She kept seeking love, kept searching for someone to fill the emptiness inside her. But Jesus told her something revolutionary. He said, "Whoever drinks of this water will thirst again, but whoever drinks of the water I give them will never thirst." She was looking for a man to complete her, but what she really needed was God to fulfill her. That wrong relationship exposed the same truth in you. You thought that person was the answer. You believed they would make you happy, make you whole, make you feel worthy. You placed expectations on them that no human being could ever carry. And when they failed, when they disappointed you, when they walked away, it shattered you. Not just because you lost them, but because you lost the idea of what they were supposed to fix in you. God allowed that relationship to fail so you could finally confront the real question. Why did you need it so badly? What were you hoping it would do for you? Were you seeking partnership from a place of wholeness or from a place of desperation? Were you ready for love, or were you just tired of being alone? There's a massive difference. Desperation attracts the wrong people. It clouds your judgment. It makes you ignore red flags, tolerate disrespect, and settle for crumbs because you're afraid of starving. Desperation makes you cling to people who are clearly wrong for you because being with someone, anyone, feels better than being by yourself. But readiness? Readiness is different. Readiness comes from a place of peace. It doesn't need love to survive. It simply desires love to share. Readiness doesn't look for someone to complete the puzzle. It looks for someone to walk alongside a journey that's already purposeful. Readiness doesn't seek validation from a partner. It seeks partnership with someone who's also validated by God. The wrong person revealed which one you were operating from. And if you're honest, really honest, you'll admit that you weren't as ready as you thought you were. You were lonelier than you wanted to admit. You were more desperate than you wanted to believe. You were seeking someone to fill spaces that only God was meant to occupy. And God, in His kindness, let that relationship fall apart so you could finally deal with the emptiness you were trying to cover up. He let it end so you would stop running from yourself and start running to Him. He let the person leave so you would stop seeking completion in human beings and start finding your wholeness in the one who created you. This season of singleness after that relationship, it's not punishment. It's purification. God is detoxing you from the need to be needed. He's healing you from the belief that you're incomplete without someone. He's teaching you that your value doesn't come from being chosen by a person. It comes from being chosen by Him. He's shifting your motives. Before you wanted a relationship because you felt incomplete. Now, He's teaching you to desire a relationship from a place of completeness. Before, you were seeking someone to make you happy. Now, He's teaching you to bring happiness into a partnership. Before, you were looking for someone to give your life meaning. Now, He's helping you discover meaning so you can share it with someone worthy. This is the purification process. It's uncomfortable. It's painful. It forces you to sit with yourself, to confront the loneliness you've been avoiding, to face the wounds you've been covering up with relationships. But it's necessary. Because two broken people looking to complete each other don't create wholeness, they create codependency. Two empty people looking to fill each other don't create love, they create exhaustion. God is making you whole so that when the right person comes, you're not looking for them to fix you, save you, or complete you. You're looking for them to complement you, to walk with you, to build with you. You're not bringing desperation, you're bringing peace. You're not bringing neediness, you're bringing strength. You're not bringing brokenness, hoping they'll heal it. You're bringing wholeness, ready to share it. The wrong relationship failed because your motives weren't pure yet. You weren't ready yet. You were seeking love for the wrong reasons, from the wrong posture, with the wrong expectations. But now God is doing the inner work that prepares you for the outer blessing. Now He's teaching you that your relationship status doesn't define your worth. Now He's showing you that being alone with Him is better than being with the wrong person. And when your motives are pure, when your heart is whole, when you're content in Him, that's when He'll bring the right person. Not to complete you, but to complement you. Not to fill your emptiness, but to share your fullness. Not to give you purpose, but to align with the purpose He's already given you. This was not rejection. This was refinement. This was not abandonment. This was purification. And the person God is shaping you into right now is worth every moment of this uncomfortable, necessary, beautiful process. And as God was purifying your motives, He was also doing something else. Something that goes even deeper than healing, deeper than protection, deeper than preparation. He was testing your faith. When that wrong person left, when that relationship ended, when your prayers seemed to go unanswered, God was watching. Not with judgment, but with intention. He was testing whether you would trust His plan or chase your own. Would you believe His promises when circumstances screamed the opposite? Would you hold on to His word when everything you could see contradicted it? Would you trust His timing even when it felt like He was late, silent, or absent? That season of heartbreak became the proving ground where surface faith transformed into unshakable trust. Hebrews 11 verse 1 says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Faith isn't faith when everything makes sense. Faith is faith when nothing makes sense, when the door closes, when the person leaves, when the promise feels further away than ever, and you still choose to trust God. That's when faith becomes real. Think about Abraham and Isaac in Genesis 22. God asked Abraham to sacrifice the son he had waited decades for, the son of promise, the miracle child. It made no sense. It contradicted everything God had told him about his future. But Abraham trusted anyway. He climbed the mountain, he built the altar, he raised the knife, and at the last moment, God stopped him. It was never about the sacrifice, it was about the trust. God was testing whether Abraham's faith was rooted in the blessing or in the one who gives the blessing. Your wrong relationship was your Isaac moment. God let you invest your heart, your hopes, your prayers into something He knew wouldn't last. And then He asked you to release it. He closed the door. He ended the relationship. He said no when you desperately wanted Him to say yes. And in that moment, you had a choice. Would you trust Him or would you fight Him? Would you surrender or would you hold on? Would you believe He had something better, or would you convince yourself that what you lost was the best you'd ever get? This is where faith gets tested. Not in the church pew on Sunday morning when everything is going well, but in the late night hours when you're alone, heartbroken, and questioning if God really knows what He's doing. In the moments when everyone else seems to be finding love and you're still waiting. In the seasons when you prayed for restoration and instead got separation. The closed door wasn't cruelty. It was confirmation. Confirmation that God's faithfulness doesn't depend on human cooperation. Confirmation that His plans for you are bigger than your plans for yourself. Confirmation that He's willing to disappoint you in the moment to protect you in the long run. Confirmation that He loves you too much to give you what you want when He knows it will keep you from what you need. Your faith was surface level before that relationship ended. You trusted God when things made sense. You praised Him when prayers were answered quickly. You believed His promises when circumstances confirmed them. But that's not faith. That's just logic. That's just responding to what you can see. Real faith happens when you can't see anything, when the promise seems dead, when the door is locked and you still say, "God, I trust you." That heartbreak forced you into a deeper level of trust. You couldn't rely on your feelings anymore because your feelings were screaming that God had abandoned you. You couldn't lean on circumstances because circumstances were telling you the opposite of what God promised. You couldn't depend on people's opinions because people were asking you why you're still waiting, why you're still believing, why you haven't moved on yet. All you had left was God's word, and that's exactly where He wanted you. stripped of everything else so you would finally learn to stand on Him alone. No backup plan, no safety net, no human reassurance, just you and God and the promises He's spoken over your life. This is how shallow faith becomes unshakable faith. This is how Sunday morning belief becomes wilderness-tested trust. This is how you move from knowing about God to truly knowing God. Because when everything else falls away and He's all you have left, you discover that He's all you've ever needed. The test wasn't about whether you could hold on to the person. The test was about whether you could hold on to God when the person was gone. The test wasn't about whether you could make the relationship work. The test was about whether you could trust God when the relationship didn't work. The test wasn't about your ability to control the outcome. The test was about your willingness to surrender the outcome to the one who sees the ending from the beginning. And if you're still here, if you're still standing, if you're still believing despite the disappointment, you've passed the test. Your faith isn't the same as it was before. It's stronger now. It's deeper now. It's been refined in the fire of heartbreak and emerged as pure gold. You don't just know that God is faithful. You've experienced His faithfulness in the darkest season of your life. You prayed for the relationship to be restored, and God said no. But He didn't abandon you. You begged Him to bring the person back, and He refused. But He didn't leave you empty. You asked Him why, and He was silent. But He was still working. And now, looking back, you can see that every no was protection, every closed door was redirection, and every moment of silence was preparation for something greater. The wrong person leaving didn't shake your faith, it strengthened it. The heartbreak didn't destroy your trust, it deepened it. The disappointment didn't separate you from God. It brought you closer to Him than you've ever been. This was not failure. This was faith training. This was not abandonment. This was alignment. And the trust you've built in this season will carry you through every season that follows. Because now you know, beyond any doubt, that God's faithfulness is not dependent on your circumstances. It's rooted in His character. And that will never change. And now we come to the most beautiful part of this entire journey, the part that makes every tear worth it, every closed door meaningful, every moment of waiting purposeful. God removed the wrong person to make room for the right one. While you were healing, while you were growing, while you were becoming the person He created you to be, He was preparing someone else, someone whose calling aligns with yours, someone whose faith matches your level, someone whose purpose complements your assignment. The waiting isn't emptiness, it's strategic positioning, it's divine orchestration, it's God aligning timing, maturity, readiness, and purpose so that when the moment finally comes, when your paths cross, when your lives intersect, it won't just be a relationship. It will be a testimony. It will be a partnership that glorifies God and advances His kingdom. Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 says, "He has made everything beautiful in His time." Not in your time, not when you thought you were ready, but in His time, when all the pieces are in place, when both hearts are prepared, when the foundation is strong enough to hold what He's about to build. Think about Ruth and Boaz in the book of Ruth. Ruth had lost her husband. She was grieving, broken, working in the fields just to survive. She wasn't looking for love. She was focused on provision, on taking care of her mother-in-law, on simply making it through each day. And while she was in that season of faithfulness, of healing, of quiet obedience, God was positioning Boaz. A man of character, a man of wealth, a man of God, a man who wouldn't just see her poverty but would recognize her worth. Their meeting wasn't accidental, it was appointed. Ruth had to go through loss to get to the field. She had to experience heartbreak to be in position for blessing. And when Boaz saw her, when he spoke to her, when he covered her with his protection and provision, it wasn't just romance, it was redemption, it was purpose, it was two people whose callings aligned in a way that changed the course of history. Their union produced a lineage that led to King David and ultimately to Jesus Christ. That's what God is preparing for you. Not just a partner, but a purpose partner. Not just someone to hold your hand, but someone to build with you. Not just someone who loves you, but someone who loves your God, your calling, your vision, and your assignment. The wrong person couldn't do that. They weren't equipped for it. They didn't have the faith for it. They couldn't carry the weight of your anointing or handle the warfare that comes with your calling. They would have celebrated your gift but resented your growth. They would have admired your passion but opposed your obedience. They would have wanted you but not the God in you, so God removed them. Not to hurt you, but to position you. Not to punish you, but to protect the assignment He's placed on your life. Because your relationship is not just about you. It's about the kingdom work you're called to do together. It's about the legacy you're meant to build. It's about the testimony your love story will produce when people see two people walking in alignment with God's will. While you were in that healing season, while you were crying, praying, wondering if love would ever find you, God was working. He was maturing you. He was strengthening your character. He was deepening your faith. He was teaching you what you need, what you won't tolerate, and what you're truly worth. And at the same time, in another place, He was doing the same work in them. He was preparing someone who's been praying for you just like you've been praying for them. Someone who's been growing, healing, becoming ready just like you have. Someone who's walked through their own wilderness, their own disappointments, their own closed doors. Someone who understands the value of waiting because they've waited too. Someone who won't take you for granted because they know what it costs to become the person you are. This person won't just fit into your life. They'll align with your calling. They won't just share your space. They'll share your vision. They won't just love you for who you are. They'll love you into who God created you to become. They'll pray with you, not just for you. They'll fight beside you, not against you. They'll protect your peace, honor your boundaries, and celebrate your growth without feeling threatened by it. And when the time is right, when both of you are ready, when the foundation is solid and the purpose is clear, God will orchestrate your meeting. It won't be forced. It won't be complicated. It won't require you to compromise, chase, or convince. It will be natural. It will be peaceful. It will be confirmed by God's presence and His peace. You'll recognize them not just by attraction, but by alignment. Not just by chemistry, but by character. Not just by what they say, but by how they live. You'll feel it in your spirit before your heart even catches up. This is different. This is right. This is God. And when that relationship begins, it won't be built on desperation or neediness or fear of being alone. It will be built on wholeness, readiness, and shared purpose. Two people who are complete in God choosing to walk together because their missions align. Two people who don't need each other to survive but choose each other to thrive. Two people who understand that their love story is not just about them, it's about glorifying the God who brought them together. The wrong person had to leave so the right person could enter. The painful chapter had to close so the beautiful one could begin. The waiting had to happen so the becoming could take place. And now, everything you've been through, every tear, every prayer, every closed door, every moment of trusting God when nothing made sense, it's all been preparing you for this. You're not behind. You're right on time. You're not forgotten. You're being positioned. You're not overlooked. You're being prepared for a love that's worth every second you waited, every heartbreak you survived, every moment you chose to trust God over your own understanding. This is not the end of your story. This is the beginning of your testimony. And when God finally brings the right person into your life, you'll look back on this season and thank Him for every wrong person He removed, every door He closed, and every time He said no. Because you'll finally understand that He wasn't withholding from you. He was preparing for you. He wasn't rejecting your prayers. He was perfecting His plan. And His plan is always, always worth the wait. So hear me clearly, beloved. Your heartbreak was never the end of your story. It was the beginning of your transformation. What you thought was rejection was actually redirection towards something beautiful, purposeful, and ordained. The person who walked away, the relationship that fell apart, the prayers that seemed unanswered, none of it was random. None of it was wasted. None of it was God being cruel or careless with your heart. You are not behind schedule. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not damaged goods because a relationship didn't work out. You are exactly where God needs you to be in this season of your life. And this season, this waiting, this healing, this becoming, it is not empty time. It is sacred time. Time where God is shaping you, pruning you, preparing you, and equipping you for everything He's promised. Sometimes what feels like loneliness is really God pulling you closer to Him. Sometimes what feels like delay is really God's design protecting you from what would have destroyed you. Sometimes what feels like rejection is really redirection toward a love that's aligned with your purpose, your calling, and your destiny. And when the right time comes, and beloved, it will come, God will not just give you a relationship, He will give you a purpose partner, someone who doesn't just hold your hand but holds your heart with reverence for God, someone who doesn't just love you for who you are, but loves you into who God created you to become, someone who walks beside you in prayer, in vision, in calling, and in destiny. Because when God writes your love story, it will not just be about romance, it will be about kingdom advancement, it will be a testimony that glorifies Him and a covenant that reflects Christ and His church. So do not despise this season. Do not rush ahead of God. Do not compare your timeline to someone else's journey. Do not let the enemy convince you that you're running out of time or that you missed your chance. In heaven's calendar, you are right on schedule. And when God finally brings the promise into your life, it will be so beautiful, so undeniable, so purposeful that you will look back on this waiting season and thank Him. You will thank Him for every closed door, every delay, every heartbreak, and every prayer that seemed unanswered, because you'll finally realize it was not unanswered. It was being answered in a way you could not see, in a timing you could not understand, for a purpose you could not yet comprehend. So let this be your declaration today. I will trust God's timing over my feelings. I will trust His plan over my pain. I will trust His promise over my present circumstances. Say it until your heart believes it. Write it until your spirit feels it. Declare it until faith rises up within you. Because when you choose to wait on Him, when you choose to trust His process, when you choose to believe that He's working even when you can't see it, you will never regret it. Your story is not ending in heartbreak. Your story is unfolding into destiny. The wrong person was just a chapter, not the conclusion. The pain was just preparation, not the final word. And the love God has prepared for you is worth every tear you've cried, every night you've prayed, and every moment you've trusted Him when nothing made sense. Trust the process. Embrace the preparation. Hold on to the promise. Because your best days are not behind you. They are ahead of you. And when God moves, when His timing aligns with His purpose, it will be beautiful beyond measure. If this word touched your spirit, type this boldly in the comments. God's timing is perfect. And if this message blessed you, remember to like, subscribe, and share so others can be strengthened by the Word of God. You are loved, you are chosen, you are preserved for something greater. God bless you.